senior journalist. I'm a member of the State Advisory Board on Disability, Goa Government's Advisory Board. And I welcome you to this big event called Purple Festival, Festival of Inclusion. And it is first of its kind in the country. And I'm very proud and happy that this is happening in our Goa. Now the event has started in several venues simultaneously. That is why this is actually a press conference where media should have been present here. But what is happening is media is covering several events simultaneously. So people are not able to come, some of them. But this event is telecast live on social media as well as TV media, Prime TV and other channels here. So it will go to people, it will be documented for you people who would like to have a recorded event afterwards. Now coming to this dialogue, Purple Dialogue is going to happen in this Audi 2 for next 3 days. Under that there will be another press conference tomorrow, and for all next 3 days we will have 8 panel discussions where our ambassadors of different disabilities, all 21 disabilities, will be coming here, talking to people, interacting with you, and other distinguished experts also in disability sector will be interacting here. Now let me welcome my distinguished panel of experts in disability and especially accessibility for persons with disability, visual impairment and other disabilities, where accessibility is the hallmark of disability movement. And Purple Fest is about history. You are all being part of the history, and you will be, once this festival is done, we hope that accessibility movement, entire disability movement will take a big boost across the country. So welcome to you all. Now to begin with, let me introduce my distinguished panel to you. Now to my extreme right, we have Ms. Shanti Raghavan. Ms. Shanti Raghavan is the founder of Enable India. Again, it is a accessibility for visual impaired and other people. Yeah. And has been working for the economic independence and dignity of persons with disability since 1999. An Ashoka Fellow, a National Award winner, and a Governing Council member of Skills Council for Persons with Disability. She was identified by Business India as one of the most powerful women in business in 2017. Shanti Madam has been recognized as one of the 75 women transforming India by Niti Aayog in 2022. She was invited as a speaker at World Economic Forum Davos. Please welcome Shanti Madam with a big hand. Now, on my right side is Air Commander C.N. Satish. He is in Indian Air Force, trained in United Kingdom, is a surgeon and senior most prosthetic surgeon in defense services. His main interest is amputee sports, low cost on modern artificial limbs. So please give a big hand to Air Commander C.N. Satish. Now to my left is Dipendra Manoja ji. Dipendra Manocha ji is on a mission to help persons with visual disabilities to lead life with dignity. Very important aspect of disability and inclusion is life with dignity. He is facilitating their inclusion and education, livelihood, and daily living activities through appropriate use of technology solutions. As Director, Developing Countries Program of DESI Consortium, founder, he is also a founder trustee of Saksham Trust, and he is the president of DAISY Forum of India, Vice President, National Association for the Blind, Delhi State Branch, member, Braille Council of India. He has also worked as a consultant to Delhi University for establishing the Resource Center for Persons with Disability. An Ashoka Fellow, he is a recipient of National Award of Government of India, IBN Super Idol Award, and IIM Lucknow Leadership Award. Mr. Manoja ji has been associated with Goa for a long time, and especially in IFI, Saksham Trust has been instrumental in getting accessible movies section. Only because of COVID, in between a gap came. Otherwise, continuously every year they used to get 3 movies done for accessibility, and our people here, visual impaired and other disability people, greatly enjoyed these movies. So give a big hand to Manoja. Now, to my extreme left is Mr. Homiyar Mobedji, again a stalwart in accessibility for visual impaired disability people. Born with retinitis pigmentosa, degenerative eye condition, Dr. Homiyar went about his life in all way mainstream. He trained to become a clinical physiotherapist and went on to head the first ever physiotherapy college for the blind. An astute supporter of digital literacy for the blind, Dr. Homiyar was one of the early users and promoters of assistive technology, all for people who are not very conversant with visual impairment technology use. All books, accessible books, digital accessibility, what you see in schools for visually impaired children and colleges, schools, everywhere. Now he is one of the persons who is developing these things. So again, give a big hand to Govendi. So now we start. I request my panel members to please make a initial comment of for 5 minutes, and then we will start interacting. Yeah, I will request Madam to start.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, and for the media. I really hope this Purple Dialogues help to move the agenda of inclusion forward. As the founder of Enable India, we've impacted livelihoods across more than 19 different disability types, and we still feel we have to get started on accessibility and inclusion. There's so much to learn, but let me just tell you a little bit of how we are addressing it in the Purple Fest, and then later I can go more general. So for example, tonight we are having the Purple Rain, right? So ये Purple Rain जो है, एक मौका है where everybody is going to enjoy themselves. We will have various dignitaries speaking, and we're going to have dances, music, etc. How do we make it enjoyable for everybody? It's not, I don't even want to call it inclusion. Inclusion थोड़ा ऐसा लगता है कि करना पड़ रहा है, इसके लिए कर रहे हैं type things, you know, like it's like we want everybody, अगर हमारा मकसद है everybody should have the same level of enjoyment, and that is inclusion, then what happens, right? So what are we doing, and what have we tried to do? Even after that, I'm sure there will be 19-20 ka, but at least we should have given a full commitment for it. So obviously for people who are deaf who sign, we will have interpreters. Again, if you just have the interpreter, but the interpreter cannot be seen, कि बहुत छोटा दिख रहा है स्क्रीन पे, वो भी प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. So it's not just about the interpreter, but it's like कितना बड़ा है, कहाँ स्क्रीन पे है, all that we are taking care of, so that really the person who is deaf in the audience, who is a signing deaf, will be able to have the same access to information. Having said that, हमारे deaf जो हैं, there are people who are non-signing deaf. So what do we do about that? That is why we are ensuring that there are subtitles, and honestly we are just using PPT के अंदर एक accessibility feature है, we are using that. In that also, yesterday हमको समझ में आ गया कि अगर we put it in the bottom, it may get cut off because there are lights. हाँ, तो इसके लिए we are trying to put it on the top. So that's what we are trying to do. So it's not about just हाँ अभी subtitle हो गया tick mark. ना, कि सचमुच will the audience be able to enjoy it, right? So that is the second part. Third part is when most of the folks are speaking. So if there's a person with vision impairment, it's not about some visuals which will create a problem for them. But having said that, there are going to be lovely dance performances. Stage pe, must, somebody is kudofying on somebody else and aisa kar raha hai, ek gymnastic pose kar raha hai, and we are all going to be clapping. और तब होगा हमारे visually impaired सोचते होंगे क्या हो रहा है, right? We want them to have the same fun. So we are trying to make sure, and we've already made a WhatsApp group with all the people with vision impairment on it, and it's called Visual Description WhatsApp group. And we've already got the dances, so we know कि क्या elements हैं, what are the visual elements. So we've kept everything तैयार, मौसी भी तैयार है, सब लोग तैयार हैं, बसंती भी तैयार है. So when the performance is going on, we will be sending that information live. Now having said that, कि जब भी performances होते हैं, it's possible the person with vision impairment may not be able to listen to it at that time. लेकिन at least बाद में उनको समझ में आएगा कि dance क्या था, how beautiful was it, right? That is the thing. Now, when the songs are going on, if you are hard of hearing or deaf, all you are seeing is इतना ही आपको दिख रहा है. 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you'll only be seeing mouth open and everybody is swaying, but you have no idea क्या हो रहा है. Now, our interpreters generally, they do get the songs in advance and they usually sign it, but only if they know the song in advance. Sometimes there are Spanish lyrics, etc. So they've got the song. But हमको लगा कि एक song इतना बढ़िया है, how can the deaf enjoy it more? So we are trying a new experiment. All our beautiful interpreters took the spirit. We actually spent around 2-3 hours rehearsing for these songs. They are going to actually enjoy the song and do it almost with expression and body movement. They're going to sway to the song, so the person who's deaf will know how it is, right? So I'll stop here, but I just tell you that for the person with physical disability, obviously there are ramps, especially for people with wheelchair, but the additional accessibility are for people who have one leg impairment or something which वहाँ दिक्कत हो सकती है. So it is not only just about a ramp as much as also grab bars, etc. Sometimes we forget कि intermediate disability के बारे में हम लोग भूल जाते हैं कि etc. And there are washrooms available which are accessible, and in fact the Goa government has also kept one on the first floor, and they provided wheelchairs that can walk up the steps. So I'll just stop here because I'm sure I'm about 5 minutes. Very sorry, sir.
Thank you, Shanti ji. Just because you were on topic of deaf and hearing and speech impaired person, let me bring to your notice that person who is signing is our Muskan Sheikh, and Goa is a small state. This movement about visual and speech impaired people signing is just picking up. I am very glad to introduce here. These are our two professional experts in signing, Muskan and another is Josephine. Please stand up. Josephine Fernandez. These are our two Goa professional sign language persons. And let me also say that Josephine this year was a gold medalist at Bombay University in sign language. Bombay College. Yeah. So coming back, now I will request Homiyar ji to make his initial comment.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. शांति ने आपको बहुत सारी चीज तो बता दी है, So that was mainly about entertainment and including people in enjoying leisure, music, dance, ये सारी चीज में कैसे include करें। इसके अलावा जो 8 को जो यहाँ पे पूरा एक कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है, डेलिब्रेशन हो रहा है RadioUdaan में, वो इसी के ऊपर होने वाला है कि आप इंक्लूजन के अंदर एजुकेशन को कैसे लाएं। अगर उसको थोड़ा विस्तार से हम समझे तो बेसिकली आज तक जो ब्लाइंड का, विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड का जो एजुकेशन हमारे देश में होता है, ट्रेडिशनली वो ज़्यादातर ब्लाइंड स्कूल्स में होता है, एक्सक्लूजन होता है। अब आप सोचिए कि 10th 12th तक जो विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड चाइल्ड है वो एक ब्लाइंड स्कूल में पढ़ा है, एक्सक्लूसिव मीडियम से पढ़ा है, ब्रेल जैसे फॉर्मेट में वो पढ़ा है, और वहां से जैसे ही वो बच्चा कॉलेज के लिए बाहर आएगा, जैसे जोसेफिन ने बॉम्बे कॉलेज में किया, अब कोई भी कॉलेज में जाएंगे तो वहां तो ब्रेल नहीं होता है, वहां लेक्चरर्स जो है, प्रोफेसर्स है, दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड ब्रेल। सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज एट दैट पॉइंट इन टाइम द चाइल्ड इज लॉस्ट। The student who should be included in a college becomes excluded because he or she is not prepared for inclusion in the mainstream society. So what we are trying to address from this one-day inclusion festival on the 8th is we'll be demonstrating lot of models where we have attempted to transform the blind school into a digital learning center. तो हमने ये कोशिश की है कि जो ब्लाइंड स्कूल्स अभी तक सदियों से ब्रेल पढ़ा रही थी, वो स्कूल्स के अंदर टेक्नोलॉजी को कैसे ऐड किया जाए। टेक्नोलॉजी ऐसी कोई खास रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है, जो आप सबके पास मोबाइल फोन है, जो आप लैपटॉप्स यूज करते हैं, वही लैपटॉप्स, वही मोबाइल फोन्स को इस्तेमाल करके जो ब्लाइंड बच्चे हैं उनको डिजिटली लिखना और पढ़ना सिखा रहे हैं। अगर ये मूवमेंट सारे देश में फैल जाती है, हर स्कूल में बच्चा डिजिटली अगर लिखना पढ़ना शुरू करता है बचपन से ही, तो आगे चल के उससे कॉलेज लाइफ में जो दिक्कत हमने बताई कि वो इंक्लूड नहीं हो पा रहा है, वो नहीं होगा। बल्कि एक और भी फायदा होगा कि आप जब इस तरह से डिजिटली लिटरेट हो जाओगे तो ना सिर्फ आर्ट्स पर आप साइंस, कॉमर्स, अलग अलग स्ट्रीम्स में आप अपना करियर बना सकते हो, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ जॉब्स आप कर सकते हो। जो आप 7th को जो आप प्रोग्राम यहाँ होगा RadioUdaan में, उसमें शांति राठौर और उनकी टीम जो है एम्प्लॉयमेंट ऑफ पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटी इन डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स के ऊपर बहुत सारा डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन कर रहे हैं। अलग अलग सेक्टर्स के अंदर विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड, हियरिंग इम्पेयर्ड, अलग अलग डिसेबिलिटीज के लोग किस तरह से मीनिंगफुली एम्प्लॉय हो सकते हैं, उसके बारे में भी आपको यहाँ जानकारी मिलने वाली है। तो हम ये चाहते हैं कि ये जो जानकारी सिर्फ जानकारी ना रहे, आपके जरिए, मीडिया के जरिए आप इसे लोगों तक पहुंचाएं कि ये मुमकिन है, ये नया जमाना है, ये जरूरत है। दिस इज द नीड ऑफ द आवर। वी नीड टू ट्रांसफॉर्म आवर एजुकेशन सिस्टम फॉर द विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड। That is what we want to take from here. If you can bring out this message that visually impaired is not just bail, visually impaired is not just government reserve jobs, visually impaired is not just being संभाल के बैठिए, संभाल के चलिए. No, we want to be a part of the society. We can be a part of the society. We want to be truly included, not just given pseudo inclusion in the name of a government job where people are just sitting there and most probably doing nothing because they were not skilled for it. Skilling के ऊपर भी बहुत सारी बातें होगी ये 3 दिनों में, तो आप जरूर ये मैसेज को आगे ले जाइए. I am open for questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mayor ji. Now I will request Air Commander CN Satish ji to make a comment.
Thank you, Prakash. At the outset, I would congratulate the government of Goa for having done this and taken the initiative and
State Disability Commission.
the State Disability Commission for taking this initiative, for doing this the first time ever in the country. A much needed one, long awaited one. I am representing the armed forces and सबके दिमाग में ये रहता है कि आर्मी तो बिल्कुल फिट रहती है, फौज है and all that. But we also have our share of disabilities and most of it is physical disabilities because of the nature of work we do. I will not get into the reasons of that, but what I would like to highlight is what we do about it. And I totally agree with what Shanti ji said and Dhomya ji also mentioned about ये जो inclusion जो बोलते हैं वो कुछ थोड़ा सा ढोंग जैसा लगता है. I mean, who are we to say that we are including them? We should not be calling them disabled actually, because what we see in armed forces, पहले एक terminology होती थी handicap. From handicap they came to disabled and differently able. But now what we are seeing is something called super able. They are actually becoming better than what the so-called normal is. To highlight the fact, I have a patient, Subhidar Anandan, who is a 200 and 400 meter Paralympic champion. He is a world record holder in that. I have a biking team called the Phoenix Braveheart. It constitutes amputees, and every year we undertake a 1,000 to 2,000 kilometer ride, motorcycle ride. Okay, so these are the things which are possible. We have a patient, D.D. Goel, who is a paragliding pilot. He flies paraglider with an amputated leg. So, what we need actually is a change in mindset and changing the people thinking that yes, everything is possible and more than what they were doing earlier, that is possible. These are the people who excel in sports. But अगर हम घर में जो गृहिणियां हैं उनके बारे में बात करें, तो we often get ladies who sustain some kind of injuries because of which they are not able to carry on their normal tasks. So what we also do is to give the occupational therapy to them to enable them to do that. Simple things like working in a kitchen. और people, ladies may think कि अगर एक हाथ नहीं है तो जुड़ा कैसे बनता है? But it is possible, right? So these kind of education is what we also focus on in occupational therapy in the army. And further is one limiting factor that people often think is the cost of the artificial limb. So what I would like to tell you is that expensive is not the best. What is needed is what is the most appropriate for an amputee, and even a cheap solution is possible to do that. So in the coming days, I would like to be involved in it and highlight more. So considering the time limitations now, I stop here.
Thank you, Air Commodore Satish ji. Very nice to know, very refreshing also for us to know what is happening in our forces about disability people. Yeah. So just as Satish ji pointed out, and also Homiyar ji, technology is enabling definitely, but extension of technology to make it less costly, especially in India, where in rural areas and in poor sector, we have a lot of persons with disability, with low means. This extension has to take place, spread out, so that costs go down. Even where I work with the hemophilia people, medical expenses are huge. One injection for them is 50,000 rupees. Can a poor family afford such? No. So extension is very important of technology, spreading out so that costs go down and it becomes affordable. So now we come to Mr. Dipendra Manojia ji. He will make his initial remarks.
Thank you so much. And again, I think I'd like to echo my congratulations to the Commissioner Office, Goa government and Goa government for organizing this Purple Fest, which is a landmark event. It's going to be one of the landmark events of this country, which will, I guess, change the meaning of the word disability itself for, I think, all of us. So, considering this, what has been just said, disability is just one another diversity. We need to understand that a person having slight hearing impairment or vision problems is just one kind of diversity, such as gender diversity or economic diversity, or people belonging to different heights. Same way, your sensory organs or your physical parts of the body can have different functional limitations, and each one of us would have it in different degrees. And what all of us do, live our lives completely. We all travel, we all work, we all get educated, we all enjoy our lives, we all have a family life, we raise our children, we take care of our parents, and each one of us with our own diversity would do that. And each person with disability, so-called disability, would also do the same thing like everybody else. And this is the main spirit of inclusion, which is the theme, which is the main theme of the Purple Fest also. And you will see all different types of lighting. That is why there is so much of, there is a car rally happening where persons with disabilities are going to participate. There's accessible movies which are taking place. There are these experience zones being created. There are zones that have been created where people can experience temporary disability, like you can blindfold yourself and try to do all those same things that you generally do in your life. The main theme is we do everything, but we may do it differently, and that is the aspect that needs to be understood. That is what Saksham, for example, is also standing by in our educational inclusive education program, in our assistive technology program, because all of us use technology to overcome our functional limitations, and so would persons with disabilities also. The challenges in assistive technology and the technology for persons with disabilities have been that we had to make it affordable, we had to make it compatible with Indian languages, we had to have a distribution mechanism, take all that in different parts of the country, a distribution system, after sales support system. This is what we are making. For example, a smartphone or a computer or a refreshable braille display kind of things for reading and writing for persons with blindness can now work in 16 Indian languages. It has taken almost 20-25 years for us to achieve this one single sentence, what I say. It's been a huge effort, but finally it's here. Now is a time that each one of persons with blindness all across India is able to read and write in mainstream script. It's such a big thing that has happened. Earlier we were restricted to writing and reading in braille. That itself was a huge revolution. There is no doubt that we got associated with the written word by that. But then this new revolution has come about in this century, that we can now read and write not just in braille but in the mainstream script, like everybody like the written communication has started happening. We are writing in Devanagari script and I'm writing script now and reading all the material which is out there for everybody. This is inclusion. This is the door to real inclusion in education and livelihood for us. So we are here to celebrate this inclusion. You must go through various aspects that are being put out here. The beautiful events and activities which are happening here, which is celebrating this diversity and which is celebrating the inclusion, and we are creating a model to show you that within few days of effort, obviously there's a lot of planning, but with a few days of effort, this whole Inox has been converted into a completely inclusive society, how it should be in all of us. This is the model to be seen and celebrated. Thank you.
Thank you, Marothon. Yes, Goa government is thinking of starting with Panaji to plan. It has plans to declare Panaji as accessible city, and then we will do it about Goa. Chief Minister has already hinted about these things. So this Purple Festival will definitely take a big stride towards this accessibility across. And once one state does that, other states will have to follow it, obviously, because our people in disability movement will be after their governments also. Now I would give here, we have people who work in disability sector. There are social media platform people here. I would ask them if they can, they want to ask any queries to our panelists, please ask. So that because we have very short time at our disposal, around 10-12 minutes, you can ask your questions, please. Vimla, Katika, please.
Good morning, it's still morning. Lovely hearing from all of you. I've been here in Goa for 2 years and I work with DRAG, with Prakash. I would like to know if there's going to be any information available about accessibility during travel. So this is one aspect which is very close to me because I have a brother who's a wheelchair user. I took him to Rajasthan in September, me alone, for 2 weeks. Yeah, he is a mouth and foot artist. His name is Ramakrishnan. And people say it's accessible, but what is accessible, people are not aware. So are we going to have a lot of information on that? This is something very passionate to me, and I would definitely, I mean, I've got him to Goa, but again, places are not accessible. Luckily, he's not so heavy, so we can even carry him. But otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for people with physical disability to.
Question of dignity, of course.
Yeah.
So who would take the?
I don't know specifically, but there will be exhibitors. If you go to the exhibition area, please go there. You will find exhibitors regarding this. And obviously, you've seen these e-rickshaws which have been going. And that's the first of its kind, right? So I think you will definitely see those stalls. I don't know the exact exhibitor's name, but I do know that there are accessibility folks there. One gentleman from Madurai who himself is a person with disability. So there are many more like that. And I would say also visit the Museum of Possibilities.
Oh yeah, I heard
Yeah,
that,
definitely that would actually be of great benefit.
For your information, EasyMove is the taxi which is available in Bombay. In Goa also we had made them available earlier, but during COVID things got affected. And now same EasyMove has come in with these rickshaws. So things are moving. Yes,
I think, as you said, we are not there yet. And obviously, the PWD Act has just come in 2016, and which clearly says that we need to make everything accessible. And as you very rightly said, who defines accessibility? And that is where the standards come into place. There are these guidelines that are there, the harmonized guidelines for ICT accessibility, there is the Indian standard that has come about. All these things are being in process. I guess that is why we are called a developing country. And I think we all need to play our role in this, a very, very important role. And that is why we are here in Purple Fest, to actually have a check, a very, very good check on where we are, where have we reached, what is the next step being taken. And every day we are seeing a new step being taken. One more problem finds a solution almost every day. And this is an ongoing battle. Hopefully, when we solve our problem, like when you are traveling with your brother, I think you are solving a problem and you are creating a solution for all the rest of the people. And that is the spirit that we want to work with.
Yeah, very rightly said. When we talk about inclusion, what we should talk about is amplifying the voice of persons with disability at all available platforms, including social media. We have here Ganesh from Radio Udaan. If Ganesh has some query, please ask.
Yeah, good morning everyone, and first of all let me acknowledge all four are my role models, so just learning from them. But my question is specifically to Homier sir. That would be great if you clarify a bit more your stand on Braille. Are you suggesting that blind should done away with the Braille now? The time has come, because you emphasize so hard on that. And even to best of my knowledge, no government in India, whether it's a central government or state government, has honestly filled up the backlog, even in the government sector. So when we talk about inclusion, I believe be it a private sector or a government sector, be it a braille or digital literacy, can go all along. So that would be great from the media. I think things will be clear a bit more.
Thank you, Danish. Thank you for bringing this up. If you can say hello without using the mic, I can know where you're sitting, Danish.
जी हाँ.
हाँ, आप आगे ठीक है. So two things, Danish. What and why are we getting educated? अगर ये सवाल का जवाब हम सोचें, लोग शिक्षण क्यों प्राप्त करते हैं? तो ऑब्वियसली लाइफ में कुछ बनने के लिए, कोई जॉब करने के लिए, कोई बिजनेस करने के लिए. शिक्षण सिर्फ घर में बैठने के लिए तो नहीं है. अगर आपका शिक्षण आपको सिर्फ रिजर्व जॉब्स तक ही लेके जा रहा है, so then there is something wrong with the system. If you are not able to be skilled enough to be qualified for jobs in the private sector, and also if you are not able to work in spite of getting a reserved job in the government sector, there is something wrong with your skilling. So what is wrong with the skilling? The answer is you are not able to read and write in the mainstream way, because if you are one person in a corporate or an environment where other people are non-disabled or use the mainstream script, if you emphasize that I am only going to write in a script which is non-legible to them, I don't think you will be included and nobody will give you a job. So ultimately, when you look at the bottom line, jobs, employment, career, then if you look back from that point in time, the answer is very clear that we need to develop a system. We need to skill our students at a level where they can learn to read and write the mainstream way right from the very beginning. Because if you're teaching them something and then after a few years you're telling them, okay, now this is not so important, now you learn the other way of writing because that is going to make difference to your life. So you're confusing them. You're confusing the entire system. And then when we do that, we have neither completely solved the traditional system of education and neither we have adopted the new system of education. So दोनों के बीच में हम लटक गए. ना हमारे बच्चों की ब्लाइंड स्कूल्स के अंदर पर्याप्त मात्रा में ब्रेल मटेरियल है, टेक्स्ट बुक्स नहीं है, एडिशनल रीडिंग की तो बात भी नहीं कर सकते हम. कई जगह पे एक स्टूडेंट के पास इंडिविजुअल टेक्स्ट बुक्स का सेट नहीं होता है, 4-5 बच्चों के बीच में एक टेक्स्ट बुक घूम रही है, वो भी फटी हुई हालत में है. Our braille presses are not being able to procure or provide materials on time. ये सारी बहुत सारी कहानियां हैं. और वो भी जितना अगर वो सिस्टम को स्ट्रीमलाइन भी कर ले तो दुनिया में still in developing countries it is only that we are producing 1% of printed material in accessible format. That means हमारे ब्लाइंड बच्चों को 99% of the written material जो पब्लिश है वो पढ़ने का अधिकार नहीं है. ये तो गलत हो गया. वो कैसे हो सकता है? जब वो डिजिटल होगा, मेन स्ट्रीम होगा, जब हर पब्लिकेशन जब पब्लिश होता है, आप प्रेस में जो कोई न्यूज़पेपर बनाते हैं, अगर उसकी एक्सेसिबल कॉपी, डिजिटल कॉपी जब आप वेबसाइट पे रखते हैं तो हमें वो पढ़ने में कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं. पर अगर उसी कॉपी को कोई ब्रेल बनाने के लिए बैठेगा तो कई दिन लग जाएंगे. फिर वो ब्रेल कॉपी बन के जब बच्चों के पास जाएगी, वो न्यूज़ तो काफी पुरानी हो गई है, क्या करेगा उसको? Stale news. We don't want stale news. Just because I'm blind, I should not be deprived of my right to be informed. So that is the transformation. That is the difference that technology brings in. I'm not against anything. I am for inclusion. I am for meaningful employment, not pseudo employment. I am for a person to be included in the society with dignity. That is my bottom line.
Same level.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, please.
There is a model that we have created in Saksham and National Association for the Blind, where both scripts are being taught. Children are taught to read and write in Braille, and they are also taught to read and write in Devanagari and the Latin script for Hindi and English. And children are doing extremely well. You can check that. So there is no conflict at all. They are very complementary. They are they both help. They both have their pluses and minuses, and they both help a lot in developing the overall language skills and the power to use it. So they are both running hand in hand. Nothing is going on.
So this is not an answer to Danish's question. I just want to bring up one very important accessibility element, because we talk so much about physical and other accessibility, and it is a little to do with the responsibility of folks also to get accessibility going. For persons in the spectrum, with autism spectrum, etc., just to give you an example, there was a lady yesterday who was, having some access needs as a person with autism, and yesterday we didn't have the program still going, so थोड़ा unstructured था. तो उन्होंने बोला मेरी access needs ये है, I need structure, and that helped us. So what we have done is we have provided her कि ये schedule है, you will be here, you will go there, there will be this amount of ambiguity, you may have to do these things 3-4 times. Means वो जो change होगा वो भी हमने बता दिया है, लेकिन some amount of क्या बोलते हैं structure has been given to her. So the beauty is accessibility and inclusion works both ways, and what we really appreciated about her was that she came and said this is my access needs, and we learned from that, because each person's access needs can be different. While we have certain sets of standards, there'll always be something that the individual only needs, and when they speak about it, we are able to do more. So I just want to bring that element that about accessibility and inclusion, and I think with that I'll hand it over.
Thank you very much. We can talk a lot because my panel is so much experienced and distinguished in this subject, but we are bound by constraints of tight schedules. Many of my panelists have other commitments in other events, so we will come to the end of this session. So I thank my panelists, Shanti Raghavan, I thank Bhubiar ji, I thank Dipendra ji, and Air Commodore Sian Satish ji for giving that view.